Hi. So, trying out lots of the Fallen 2.0 is the game that came out on, I think it's in 2023, so around 2 years now. Let me check my settings are correct to make sure it matches what I've set in the description. Okay, so graphics is everything in cinematic mode, and check frame rate. Turned it up a little bit brightness so to make sure that it won't look too dark. Contrast is a little bit peculiar because even if I turn all the way up to 100, it still looks completely dark in the center. So I'm just going to say that 50. This is no. So I have DLSS on, but it's in DLAA, so there's no upscaling, but DLSS is only used for the purpose of anti-aliasing. So I think, yeah, I think the settings are right. We can try the passwords as well. Okay, let's jump straight into it. The color implementation is quite good. I think in this opening screen that I think wasn't there before. It's very vibrant, the colors. Overall, very. I think there's an improvement. But obviously, I was playing with 4090 before. This is the first time I played 2.0. I think I haven't played this game for a year, and it is the first time I'm playing with the 5090. But previously, I was on 4090. I had to turn on frame check, not frame jam, but the DLSS upscaling. So raise them down, cycling, okay. How I died here, but yeah. Okay, got this one. Yeah, the lighting is very good. Even though I'm not using HDR at the moment, I think it's a very good color quality here, which cannot be said for a lot of games, including most of the WoWs which I've played a lot recently. Until I used the mod called uh, Repo DX, I think. That mod basically fixes HDR in a lot of games. So if you are thinking your HDR looks washed out, you should try that mod for the games that do not implement HDR very well. I'm not sure which way to go actually. I haven't played this for so long. I completed the game when I first played it, because this game came out around the time of Lies of P, and it turned out that I like this game much more than Lies of P, contrary to what most other people are experiencing. I like Lies of P also, but I think in terms of exploration, and especially in terms of graphics, this one just beats that game out of the park. It may not be fair because this game is in UE5, obviously. I think Lies of P, if I remember correctly, Lies of P was in UE4. The combat of Lies of P is very good. This this game, some people say the boss fights are too easy, which I agree to a certain extent, especially for some particular bosses. They just feel like pushover, but not for all of them. And in terms of exploration, I think it's just maybe second to second to Elden Ring. But in terms of combat, it's not up there. It's simply not up there. But I think one of the reasons that I enjoyed Elden Ring so much was the exploration. Let's see if there's something here. So I have to go into the Umbral. Some people do not like this mechanic, that where you like then transit between the real world and the Umbral world. But I think it's this mechanic is actually quite impressive because you basically the game has like two totally different sets of graphical information that he has to store. So whenever you press the light, the lamp, you will see what's happening in the other world, or wherever you got healed in the real world, you will automatically go into the Umbral world, which has like completely different graphics. And so you are seeing, I think the FPS is around 60 to around 90 FPS. So previously, if I did not turn on the DLSS, it's just below 60. So I think that there is an improvement here. I have to go into Umbral with it. Is there anything in Umbral there? Okay. Ball doesn't budge. Okay. High 60 FPS. I'll say it's 60, comfortably above 60. I haven't seen dips below 60 so far. Which is totally playable in native 4K. I mean, at launch, this game looks amazing, but also the performance is what pushes people away from it. Many people were not only reporting the performance issues, optimization, but game crashing and other problems, so it wasn't very well received, just to say the least. I think it has a score around 67 overall, whereas Lies of P got mainly like 8 or 9s. If you ask me, I know this may not make people happy, but I think Lies of P is a little bit overrated. If it's getting a score up there with Dark Souls 3 or Elden Ring. I mean, as I said, it's a very good combat mechanics. Some people complain about Lies of P about like the combat mechanics is very. I mean, the difficulty is quite artificial. I don't know about that. I beat the game, so it's not too much of a hassle for me either. But I agree that the mechanics can be quite annoying at times, because in Lies of P the bosses' attacks are not very intuitive, and they rely a lot on the delayed attacks rather than. I mean, in Souls games, the bosses they can be very difficult, right? Especially in, for example, in the DLC Shadows of the Tree, it could be quite difficult, but they always feel fair. In Lies of P, I think they rely on the very narrow parry window, and they also rely on the delayed attacks. So it's like fake roof. So that increases the difficulty a lot, and some people call that artificial difficulty. In this game, I don't think combat's a problem. It's generally considered quite easy. this in the new game. But for New Game Plus, I think that's another story. Right? People died here, right? Okay.
Sentinels! To the crypt! Fall back! Fall back!
Oh. Well, this is where the dragon appears for the first time, I think. So in Umbral World, the FPS is generally lower. Graphics actually look simpler for some reason. The FPS is lower in the Umbral World. And the other thing that I'm not sure whether they can improve is maybe they can improve the VRAM usage. So I'm at like 5090, which has like a 32 gigabytes of VRAM. But the usage is only like less than 12 gigabytes. So I think they can do more texture on higher end setups like the 4090, even for like 4080, 5080s, and of course the 4090s and 5090s. I think 5079 Ti also has like 16 gigabytes, if I remember correctly, so they can definitely use more VRAM. Because from what I remember, the texture in some of the areas, especially the use of nanite, has been toned down a bit. I think in one of the more obvious ones is in the main hub where you upgrade your weapon. There's an old lady over there, and you will have to. I mean, it used to look amazing in that room with the UE5 stuff like the Lumen and Nanite. But in subsequent patches, where they were like improving the performance, that has been toned down quite a bit. So I hope they could have like better options for higher VRAM setups. Especially in this patch, because it's just come out, and if you've watched my previous videos on Once in the Wilds, you'll notice that that game goes up to like 28 gigabytes of VRAM. It's sort of like crazy, right? This is the starting position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just find the Raspberry. And then I'll just shuffle back to the top so you guys can take a look at what I was doing. Healing. Okay. I'll just go back to to the starting area. Run through this quickly. Attack. Yeah, if you ask me, I think it's one of the better Souls games that I've played outside of From Software games. It just looks amazing. And of course it's hardware dependent. Let's say if you've got something like a 4080 or above, definitely recommend this game. Or PS5 Pro maybe. Not that I'm saying PS5 Pro's hardware capability can even match the cards that I've mentioned, but I think console versions typically have a better optimization. So at least for Monster Hunter Wilds, for example, on the PS5 Pro, I think the performance is totally acceptable when compared to what I'm getting with the 5090, and especially when you compare the prices of both. Let's turn them off. Okay. Which is the Lost Vestige Seed of Outfield Grove. That should be the place where I fought the final bosses, right? Yeah, I think it's this place. Or not, yeah. Anyway, let's go back to the hub. Arrest. So this is what I'm talking about. So typically in the hub, this is the room that I mentioned, the weapon upgrade room. You used to have a lot of very beautiful decorations here, this room, when the game first came out. But I think due to the performance issues, they just dropped those details. It looks really amazing in this room. On my 4090 when it first came out, I really like this room. It's like a demonstration of your UI capability, but it's no longer there, sadly. Upgrade equipment. I don't even know what I'm using right now. It's probably this one. Here's this one. Yeah, anyway, I think that's just a quick demonstration of how long they've come. And since 2.0 has come out, you can play with your friend all the way. And you can get it at a very low price now. I think before you could get it on Game Pass. But I think there's some problem with Game Pass right now. I saw people mention that DLSS doesn't work on Game Pass, so I would recommend you buy the Steam version. It's I think around like $20 US, which is a steal if you ask me. But this game is just crazy. This game is so good. Yeah, not gonna lie. Ignore the previous reviews. I think you should really try this, especially if you have a high-end graphics card. Yeah, that's my 2 cents for today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.